At the very top of your screen, just out of the field of view right now, is the most recently arrived Progress resupply vehicle, the Progress 39, that docked a few weeks ago to the International Space Station.
To the left, and the same up from the center, and on the vector, everything is to the right. We copy. Should you be sending any commands, you need to send them from info 1, and we'll be using info 1 for observing the picture of format 44. Copy.
Russian flight controllers here in Korolyov have given their approval to reinitiate final approach for docking. We should see the crew command sent momentarily to begin the slow final few feet of approach by the Soyuz vehicle under the command of Alexander Kaleri. This so far fully automated through the Core's rendezvous system.
The two lines of the rendezvous format are not doable on the info display, but well, we may actually shadow it with the vehicle. Well, you go then to turn the floodlight on. Okay, let us turn it on just in case. Go ahead and do it.
Опа.
Так, у нас завис формат на первом инфу пошел в перезагрузку.
Final approach format froze, and the info 1 actually moded to the restart. Okay, we copy that.
Вы можете тогда со второго инфу включить фару.
Now turn the floodlight from the info 2
and confirmation now that the Soyuz has resumed its final approach for docking to the Poisk module of the International Space Station. Everything going by the book so far. Smooth transit from the launch pad of the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. Alexander Kaleri, Scott Kelly, Oleg Skripochka, just minutes away from arrival at their home in orbit for the next 5.5 months.
Okay, switch to info 2. Then you do not want us to rotate the format? Yes, no need to do it. What about this SVP format? Okay, it looks like info 1 is now working okay. The floodlight is on. What's on your side? Well, at least the cursor is responding. Okay, then go ahead with the line V. And for station keeping, then I'm rotating the format on the info 2. Okay, great. Now we are ready. We can see the image.
The Soyuz now just over 100 meters away from docking. The core system will literally fly the Soyuz into the center of the crosshair, so it's precisely aligned with the Poisk module docking target that is just off to the lower right quadrant of those crosshairs. The approach 0.4 of a meter per second, the perfect speed and angular momentum for the final approach by the Soyuz. It is precisely aligned at solar arrays in the correct configuration. The arrays on the International Space Station were feathered or placed on an edge-on position to prevent any inadvertent pluming from jet thruster firings on the Soyuz that would damage the arrays on the International Space Station, both on the U.S. and the Russian segments of the complex. Once again, flying 222 miles over the South Pacific now, a good view of the Soyuz as it slowly approaches 80 meters away from docking.
Range about 70 meters. Copy. The docking port, one cell, range is 60 or 55.
Machine 08 clear.
Get 0.8 of the cell to the late and same down. Copy.
Дальность 45.
Range 45. Copy. Inaudible?
Нет.
No.
Наблюдаем.
Yes.
Echo, inaudible.
Готов. Ждем.
We're standing by for indicator on.
Пока не горит транспарант.
No, the LED is not on. Now it's on.
Есть АВК закрыто.
Overcast.
Just over 40 meters away from its docking port and the Poisk module, a good view of the Soyuz spacecraft against the limb of the Earth.
Дальность 30.
The docking mechanism is been powered up on the Soyuz spacecraft, the forward docking probe, everything in readiness for contact and capture a short time from now. Soyuz and the International Space Station about to fly into an orbital sunset.
Мишень подтягивается к центру.
The target is approaching the center.
Дальность 30.
Range 30.
A good view of the Soyuz spacecraft. The forward compartment, the bulbous section, is called the orbital module, where the avionics and forward docking probe are located. The crew is strapped into their seats in the center section, the descent module, the only section of the Soyuz that comes back to Earth. And at the rear, with the solar arrays and its engines, the instrumentation and propulsion module.
Клетка вниз, клетка влево.
One cell down, one cell to the left.
Прицел собраны.
Copy. Crosshairs aligned.
Дальность 25.
Range 25.
25 meters away, looking right down the barrel of the Poisk module's docking port. Just 2 weeks ago, Expedition 24 departed from that same docking port as Alexander Skvortsov, Mikhail Kornienko, and Tracy Caldwell-Dyson left the International Space Station, leaving it down to a trio of crew members for 2 weeks. Tonight, the Expedition 25 crew under the command of Doug Wheelock about to receive new residents.
Мишень полклетки вниз, клетка
Target,
влево.
half cell down, one cell to the left. Crosshairs aligned. Range 20.
On the left side of the Poisk module, a good view of the Core's rendezvous system, what is known as the passive side of the Core's system. The active side is on the Soyuz vehicle, as navigational data is beamed back and forth between the docking port and the arriving spacecraft.
Inaudible.
Мишень идет вправо.
Target is moving to the right. That's okay. Sasha, this is okay. After OR, we always have some
Мишень полклетки.
roll
Клетка вправо.
oscillation. The target is one cell to the right, half cell down.
And we copy.
Дальность около 10.
Range about 10 meters.
Кресты практически собраны. Есть
The
небольшое
crosses basically coincide. There is a half cell difference for course. The target is half cell down. Copy.
10 meters away, final alignment from the Corps' automated rendezvous system in work. The crew on board the International Space Station, as well as aboard the Soyuz vehicle, standing by for contact and capture.
Half cell down, quarter cell left. The crosses have coincided. Copy. One cell down. The crosses are together. We're waiting for the contact.
Docking confirmed.
Mechanical contact. Yes, mechanical contact confirmed.
And capture confirmed. Docking occurring at 7:01 p.m. Central Time, 4:01 a.m. Moscow time. The Expedition 25 crew has doubled in size.
That's right. Inaudible speaking at the same time. And don't close on one. All right, copy. Page 77.
The International Space Station in free drift. Thrusters disabled to allow the dampening of the relative motion of the two vehicles to settle down and initiate the retraction of the docking probe for hooks and latches to close. Docking occurring over the South Pacific, West Chile, at an altitude of 222 statute miles.
It looks like on input 2 we can close the window. Yes, that is correct. All right. Let's select wide angle.